first with Carol, then I think it's Audrey.
Someone
then
buys your house.
You.
I can't believe what they did to your house. It's not my house.
I'm 80% sure
I
that's
don't
it.
care what they do.
But there's a title slide in front of each
Okay.
one, so it'll be a transition.
It's time. Call this meeting to order. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join Commissioner Kirshner for a prayer.
Okay, please join me in a prayerful mood here. Heavenly Father, we thank you for another wonderful summer day. We ask that you give us the wisdom to do what is in the best interest of those we serve. We once again ask in a special way that you protect those that are protecting our freedoms and their families. We ask all this through your Son. Amen.
Roll call.
Commissioner Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Kirchner?
Here.
Commissioner Stacy?
You're in cold.
All right, minutes. I'll accept a motion to approve the digital audio video recording of the previous board session from Thursday, June 27th.
I will so move.
Second. Roll call.
Commissioner Stacy? Commissioner Kirchner?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes. Okay, any adjustments? Front end? Okay, we have our engineer here, Mark Zimmerman. He'd like to talk to us about ditches, witches, and
Sewers.
sewers.
And actually, I just have something to bring up as far as the sewers and something for you to think about. In 2004, we did the upgrade to the Honey Creek sewer plant. And when we did that, of course, the old portion of the subdivision all had existing houses. We had to cut through over a dozen concrete and asphalt driveways. To do that, of course, the recompaction and all that, associated with redoing that and repouring those driveways. We have one individual, one landowner, Irene Allen, who for the last several years has been complaining about the fact that the patch that was done in 2004 has failed, and that section of concrete in her driveway has failed. And it has. I've been out there several times to look at it. Now, what she is asking is that we fix her driveway. I have told her for years that there are no funds. It is not a responsibility of the sewer district to fix that. We have no maintenance fund to do that type of work. And so I guess, but she has persisted. She has gone as far as to apply for grants to try to get it fixed. She is afraid to drive over it now. And I guess I'm coming to you because I want you to think about whether or not we want to address this issue through the sewer district. It's just above my pay grade on what decisions I'm allowed to make. It happened in 2004. We carry a 2-year maintenance bond on all of our contracts. The contract was inspected during construction, as all of our contract projects are. It was certified complete. Can I say that every single driveway was inspected every single day? No, it was not. Can I say every foot of this thing was inspected? No, it was not. Obviously, this section was not compacted properly. There is no doubt that this being the only section of driveway that has failed, and the only section of the entire sewer district or sewer improvement that has failed, is that it is a direct relation to the sewer installation. Even though it was 15 years ago.
Are we opening up a can of worms, or do we have other?
So that's why I'm here to talk to you.
Okay.
My fear, as I explained to Irene, is that I fear setting a precedent. As always, with every project we do, I fear setting a precedent. Are we opening this up to everybody that may have a half an inch dip in their yard, or may not like the way their driveway has a crack in it, hasn't failed, but it's got a crack in it? Are we going to be responsible for that? Are we going to be responsible for that across the entire sewer district if we go ahead and do this one? I can tell you, though, with all of our districts, with all of our homeowners, with all of our landowners that we deal with in every one of our sewer districts, This is over and above any damage that people have asked for in the past. Are we setting a precedent? Yes, but we had talked, and I don't remember what the issue was before. We're not necessarily setting a precedent if the act is so overwhelming that it requires work done on it.
What?
I would anticipate less than $2,500. I would guess mostly in labor. We could ask them, and tell her we would be willing to do it. We'll pay for the materials, you pay for the labor. And that way it's a mix. Or we pay for the labor and they pay for the materials. I would anticipate somewhere between the $2,500 to $3,000 range maximum.
Fair is fair, I think. If we have done damage to somebody's property, we probably need to at least pay attention to it. But from my viewpoint, I think we get a couple of estimates for her and give her the money to do it.
Okay.
And then she's responsible with that contractor directly,
In
rather
whole.
than this thing coming boomeranging on us 5 years from now.
Okay. Well, do you want me to go ahead and get some estimates and bring those back to you and see where we are? I do not anticipate it. I've done this type of work a lot. I don't anticipate it. It probably significantly less than $2,500.
That's the engineer's estimate?
That's the engineer's estimate, yes.
Well, why don't we authorize up to $2,500?
Okay.
Get some, my suggestion, get some estimates, but give it to her specifically to hire her own contractor.
Okay.
And she's responsible for the work at that point. Or they are, whoever the owners are.
This is money that the sewer district has.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the sewer district is flush, but we manage a tight ship. We don't take anything more than we need, but we do have some additional funds that we can transfer into a line. I'm not sure where Charlene's gonna find that money, but she will do it for me, so.
I'll take care of that.
So, we will find the funds to do it, so.
And this is an exceptional situation. I think
Yeah,
where it
maybe
has
that's
to
the
go.
proper word. This is an exceptional situation. If somebody else's driveway falls because there was a hole in the tile, which we have fixed before, tiles leak, you get joint leaks. We have gone out in people's yards and fixed those because they're directly related to the sewer. That's sewer repair though, not
This
driveway
happens all
repair.
the time. The gas company, the water company, supposedly they patch some grass that they had or fix a curb. And we all know that we have to end up tending it ourselves
Right.
because it's not done the way we'd have it done. So, but if it's an exceptional situation, then let's get it resolved.
Okay.
I don't think you need any more than that, just to have the discussion, right?
I'll do the formal transfer
Okay.
for next week's meeting.
Good enough. I will let them know. So unless anyone else has anything else for me, I got a bridge
Thank you.
project to head to. So thank you very much. You guys have a great weekend. So thanks. Take care.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, we have the TSEP update. So we have a ditch hearing at 10:15, so we're gonna have to make a call. So,
So
I
that's
just put you on
one
notice,
way.
man.
I was told earlier in the week that I give epic presentations, which is a way of saying I'm really wordy. So thankfully I let the team talk. Our intent is to just give high-level overview of
Right.
kind of some of the things we've been up to and some of the trouble we're causing in a good way. So we're gonna go, each of our team members is gonna do quick presentations. Nick, do you have a thing or do I just point?
Beautiful.
All right.
It's gonna end up to me, David, you get interrupted in the
Okay, so
middle.
team, so we have everybody here today except for Carol. I'm going to be inadequately filling in for her on the workforce development front. Nick and Audrey and Amy. So there we go. That was me trying to fix it. Didn't work real well. Okay, so key initiatives. Carol is going to a meeting today, the 4CG partnership. This was something announced. More than $100,000 of grant from Area 7 Workforce Development to pay for not only a new workforce development strategy among 4 counties, but also a wage and benefits survey that takes into account other counties around us so that our industry, both in Tiffin and in rural Seneca County, can have a true idea of what the wage and benefits, the competitive environment is. So
Which 4 counties are those?
it is Crawford, Seneca, Sandusky, and Ottawa, which also lines up with what the Ohio Means Jobs section is that kind of works there. So it works really well. Manufacturing Showcase, the date has been set for October 11th, and so planning has begun. We've traditionally had participation from employers all over the county, kind of trying to help the next generation as kind of get exposure and engagement in live activities with manufacturing. Job Seneca County page is more than 1,000 people that follow it that like it, and continue to increase that. That's since it was launched in March, and getting a lot of use in promoting opportunities for careers that people have. And we've the second employer job promotional video where we're trying to help the overstrapped HR directors sell the career opportunities. So the first one with Arnold Machine went really well. The second one's being processed. Manel Milling was third, asked for a delay, and so AFS is the next one in the queue. So we're working countywide to produce really high quality videos that sell what's going on. So with that, I will turn it over to Audrey to talk about what she's got going on. And I'm going to hand you.
So I have 5 minutes.
You have less than 5 minutes.
Yeah,
We as a team have 5 minutes.
Of course. So, all right. So first, I'm excited to be here. Happy to be helping to increase the level of service to the county. So first of all, I'm meeting with, in the process of meeting with all 15 townships. I started with Bloom, which is my home township, had a good meeting with them, as well as villages. We're in Green Springs today. We're just making them aware of the resources that TSIP provides. They're making us aware of projects that we were not previously connected to, and letting them know sort of the services we can provide and the resources. And I think that is going really well. Projects, for example, like ST Genetics that was bought out, we're able to offer resources to them and be connected with them. So that's a good livestock and agricultural project that is an example of things we've been connected to. We're also keeping track of the ag economic things that are going on with that. And so, for example, when we had the roundtables with the state leaders that came in recently, they Treasure Sprague provided us with some materials on programs like the Ag Link, so that's a resource that I'm being able to direct them to, as well as directing people to Hallie. I do have some flyers for the Ag Link, which is a small business agricultural lending program. If anyone wants more information on that, let me know. We also have 27 current rural projects going on. We're also making insight calls to different rural businesses and organizations, and just touching base with them, doing at least a couple of those a week. So that's going well. We're also trying to find some stories about highlighting different organizations in the county to get some more shedding light on those kind of hidden gems out there. So that's something else that we're in the process of, and again, just getting feedback on economic priorities from the townships and villages. So that's going well. Then in my other areas, as far as community development, I'm working on a sort of grants master list of all the different opportunities that are available. I have been working on several different grant applications. We worked a little bit with the county engineer on some opportunities recently. There's also there's also some private dollars that we're working with, trying to do some community development with. For example, Lowe's Heroes is coming in, so we've been facilitating their process and investing in some community development. Yes, Mike, we're also working on some solutions for some Christmas lights, so that's another thing we're assisting on, yes.
The bigger we make it, the more expensive it is, Mike. That's the problem.
Yes, and some tip in community engagement, really trying to work on that process. We're going to be getting the community development committee back together, and again, just getting a good process going for that. And then I'm also working on entrepreneurship, small business, innovation, that type of thing. So we're trying to get, again, a process going for that, get a committee together, get a strategy for how this is going to work. And then, is that the call?
My phone, sorry.
Okay, all right. I'll keep going until you need dial.
Yeah.
All right, so then, yeah, so small business, we're doing social media live streams. Every time there's a ribbon cutting, those reach between 2 and 7,000 views every time. As far as our Facebook page in general, that does cover Tiffin and the whole county, we have reached over 10,000 people in the last month, had over 5,000 engagements with our posts, streamed 4 ribbon cuttings, like I said. We're promoting events, that kind of thing. And again, with the small business, connecting them to resources, both financial and otherwise, been able to connect a couple of projects to banks and that kind of things, and also connecting them with Bill Oxter and those type of small business resources. So I think that pretty much covers everything that I had, so if you
Well,
wanna take a
while we make
pause.
while we make the call, leave the
Yeah.
holiday lights
No,
on.
We've done a really good job of dialing Tiffin City schools in and putting them in the conduit for workforce development. Are we gonna have that same effort for the county schools, reaching out to, Seneca East and Mohawk and getting that conduit in for workforce development? I mean, is that part of the mission to reach out to the rest of the county?
It is. So we have a committee of all the superintendents for all the county school districts. Tiffin City School isn't on that. It's called the Business Coordinating Committee. And so we meet and we share all the ideas of all the great things that are going on. And so a lot of these initiatives, like Jobs Seneca County, many other things, are coming through that initiative. So the answer is yes.
Or the commissioner, dial 1.
It's in the summer, it kind of takes off a little bit as they get organized, but we meet at least 3 to 4 times. Probably 3 to 5 times the course of the traditional school year. We met all last year.
Ron Metzger, the Commissioner's Office.
Hello, Shane Thomas, Seneca County. How are you doing?
Good, let me get you on speaker here. Hopefully I won't lose you.
Is this their ditch or our ditch?
Still there?
Right there.
Yes. That one.
Yes, we're here.
Okay, well, we got all 3 commissioners here and Sue also.
Excellent. Do we need to do a roll call? We're gonna do a roll call.
Commissioner Thomas,
Here.
Commissioner Kirschner,
Here.
Commissioner Stacy, absent.
You just need to speak up a little bit.
All right. We've got a resolution on our end. Would you like us to read it?
Yep.
All right.
I have a resolution for the maintenance assessments for collection in 2020 for the Seneca and Wyandotte County ditches maintained by the Seneca County Ditch Maintenance Program for the Grimes Joint County 6.1 and Wendinger Joint County 9.3.
Mike Kirschner, Seneca County, move for approval.
Bill Slinger, Wyandotte County, second the motion.
Roll call.
Commissioner Stacy, Commissioner Kirschner,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Stites,
Yeah.
Commissioner Klinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Metzger,
Yes.
All right. Do you guys have anything on your end?
no, I'll be receiving a filled-in copy, correct?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Lots of water, you want some?
It's coming our
Yeah,
way from you
yeah.
right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Just remember, the river flows north.
We're sending it your way.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. We're good.
Okay.
All right. Thank you much.
Bye.
Bye.
We can continue?
There he is.
All right. Excellent.
Excellent. That's the quickest ditch call I've ever heard. I told him
If
he had
you're
to
really
sit down
lucky-
because I was worried it was going to be a long time.
if you're really lucky, you'll get to witness the 10:30 ditch call.
Can only hope.
Get out of here, sing song.
I can see Charlene's quivering with excitement.
I can't contain it.
Can't wait.
All right. So Nick Dutro, Development Manager for TCEP, one of 2 development managers for TCEP. I'll start with just going over this slide really quick. We were recently named in Site Selection Magazine, Seneca County number 14 in the country for micropolitans. It's in the U.S. It's now 7 years in a row that we've been in the top 10% of that selection. That's great news altogether. We're always excited to be recognized by Site Selection. Unemployment rate is at 3.7% as of May 2019. We've had no major layoffs in the past, I believe it's 5 years, David, is that correct? So those are always great things to report. Always excited to be able to report those numbers. Other things to report, future, as we're talking about the future, something I've been doing since I joined the office in January. Since then I've been doing a lot of projects, working on a lot of projects. I have about 20 projects that I work on currently, many of those on a weekly basis. And a few of those we are hoping to announce very soon. That includes 2 major industrial projects in the township, so it's places just outside of Tiffin there. Of those 24 projects, we have 24 projects, I should say, that are in the townships, in the rural county. 6 of those are projects that I'm actively involved with. Again, most of those on a weekly or pretty regular basis. And I did want to mention one of my first projects I worked on, in fact, I was getting emails about it before I actually joined the office, was a potential purchase by a local investor group of the Ballright Snack Food Company. I can say that Audrey and I were there just on Tuesday with State Treasurer Robert Sprague. We had a really great visit, and it's great to see them up and running, see them continuing to produce a great product that really means so much to Seneca County. It's, I believe, I've said it before, it's a point of civic pride for Tiffin and Seneca County. So we're excited to see that company continue on to its 100th anniversary next year, and with some new blood in that organization. Also on there, Penn Station, a recent commercial win for us that will be coming to the west end of Tiffin, a new restaurant there. And we've had a number of other announcements, and I believe that Amy is going to get to some of those that were in the downtown as well in the past 6 months. In addition to facilitating industrial and commercial development, I've been working on management of tax incentives, particularly community reinvestment area incentives with the county auditor, Julie Atkins, and city engineer, Matt Watson. As well, we've been marketing land in our opportunity zone for development, most of which is in rural Seneca County. And we are managing a list of about 100 properties. It's actually 99 properties, so it's pretty close. I'd love to see that number go down just a bit. 21 of which, though, are in rural Seneca County. So I've done drives of our villages, looked through our townships at what buildings are available. We compile that list, and whenever any groups are coming in saying they're interested in Seneca County as a place to do business, we like to show them those properties and hope that they make that their new home. In addition, as we're talking about those properties, I've also been working quite a bit with submitting some of our vacant land and our spec building to Jobs Ohio for future manufacturing opportunities. So we're hoping to hopefully get a hit soon on that spec building. We'd love to have it filled with a new employer in Seneca County. Our office also managed the housing study that was conducted by DeSalvo Development Advisors and paid for by the city of Tiffin. David and I will be giving a presentation on just that at City Council next week, so look forward to that. But most of you maybe know that housing study has been completed. The results of that are available on our website. You can read more about those there. But just some highlights from that really quick are that there's a potential for up to 450 new homes in the Tiffin market in the coming years through looking at surveys and other information. And in there as well, there were 8 sites that were identified for future development. 4 of those were in the townships of Clinton and Hopewell. So there are areas in rural Seneca County that they're looking at as major investment sites for the future that we hope to see occur. As well, something I've taken on as well as our development, I've also been doing a lot of our media. As many of you may know, I spent about 10 years working for the Advertiser Tribune. So I have a little bit of media background. So I've been writing our press releases, helping to coordinate stories. We've had we've had 29 press releases that TSEP has put out in the 6 months since I started. Those have resulted in 62 stories in print or online media, so that's other media organizations using our content, getting that out to readers in Seneca County and outside of our area. We've had 7 TV spots, most of which with Toledo Channel 11. Although there's other Toledo stations who have picked up our stories as well. So we're always excited to see Toledo take an interest in what's going on in our area. Always excited to work with them on that. Of our reach, so our stories on our press releases have reached 104,143 people on social media, which is great numbers to see. We're excited to see that many people kind of seeing those things. I will mention just one press release recently that we did, which was to promote our Jobs Seneca County Facebook page, which again, David had mentioned, is something we work with Ohio Means Jobs, Seneca County Office for Ohio Means Jobs. We're hoping to see more information go out about partnerships in the county, especially as Audrey picks up more projects that she's been working on. So anything for me that I can help with? Any questions?
2 things. One, on the press releases and the media, the outward-facing media that we send out to Toledo and Cleveland or wherever else, are we looking for specific demographic information to respond to those press releases? You know, are we targeting it so that it looks like a community that you'd want to come live in? Or are we targeting it so that it looks like a place where you want to come start a business? Is it both? Are we segregating? Are we targeting?
I would say we're not necessarily targeting, but any development makes it look like a community that you want to be in. And certainly people are talking about Seneca County, talking about Tiffin,
Absolutely.
talking about Fostoria as places where there's business happening. So as we promote new businesses, new industrial growth, be that through investment or a new firm coming in, those are always things that people are going to notice and say, there are things going on in our community. This is a place that we should be in. As I mentioned with our housing study, certainly our hope with that is that we can use that to attract developers to our area and say there is a real need for more residential in our community as well. So these things all work together. And while we're not necessarily going, putting out a story that says, hey, this is a great place for Generation Z to live in or millennials to move to, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're not, that idea is there. We're out promoting our county, hopefully in a way that it brings those people.
Let me take one deeper dive into the housing study.
Absolutely.
You mentioned 4 locations that you've found.
So there are eight locations,
Four of which are in the county.
Okay.
Do any of those, either in the city or in the county, have infrastructure in place at this point?
So of the 4 that you have mentioned, some do.
Okay.
I believe that 2 of those do. There are some that are vacant properties, so farmland basically, or underdeveloped land, as was the case in I think one of those.
And did you dig, I have not read it.
Sure.
Did you dig deep enough to talk about average price? What's the price points for those properties and any amenities that might go with them?
So some of those do have, some of those, and most of those are generalities for those sites. So those were chosen by the firm that we worked with. We had a little bit of input and say in how those were chosen, but he was kind of looking at here are places that would be good for this kind of development. So there were a couple of those. He said, this would be perfect for condominiums to be built on, or a residential apartment style living. So. He doesn't get into necessarily the specifics on those. It doesn't necessarily say that they have an immediate for sale sign on them either.
Right.
These are just generalities that help.
Well, my
hopefully
sense
help
is there will be a
developers.
little bit of a domino effect here, because I think some of the folks that have larger houses will be willing to downsize, right?
That's
And
absolutely
then
correct.
those will be family homes again, and, yeah, David, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, if it's of interest, maybe it would be good to have Pete here, if we can get Pete here and make a presentation to you on because it's really the Tiffin area housing opportunities, which is really the larger area. So if Pete could go in a deep dive. I mean, he did get all the utility maps, he got all the infrastructure maps, so when he was looking at, sites that would be potential. As Nick rightly pointed out, it doesn't necessarily match up a site with the price point, but the inside the housing study is, this is the units, this is the kind of product, these are what people are willing to pay. For example, in single family, they're willing to pay, 65% are willing to pay $140 to $180 to go into a house.
I
And
mean,
so
this
then,
is a 20-year-old issue for us. I
Yes.
really am interested in it, because we have too much commute between other cities back to Tiffin, and we've been able to establish jobs, but we haven't been able to get that nice stock of housing that needs to be there.
and we don't want
We've
the
been talking
nice
about this
people
for a long
living
time.
outside of Seneca County, right? We lose their participation in the school districts, we lose their participation in philanthropy, we lose their engagement, so I think
I'm aware of situations where kids are moving to town, 3 or 4 of them right now, that they just can't find what they want. And it's difficult to do. So I know that there's a pent-up need for that.
And I will share, as you mentioned, people living outside of the community. There is a line in the report that says that looking at information from the survey that was conducted and taking some information, it showed there were about 6,600 people living outside of the community coming
Right.
into work, and about half of those would be interested in living in Seneca County.
Well, and
if
those
that's
folks
possible.
generally are on the higher end of the pay scale, right? So therefore, the higher end of the housing market.
We're gonna make one more call here, and then our all-star closer will come up,
Yeah.
all-star season.
Thank you very much.
She can architect the end of the presentation.
This is ours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Hello, this is Shane Thomas in Seneca County.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic, and yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Can I transfer you to our conference call line? Can I put you on hold for a second?
That'd be great.
Thank you.
We don't have that fancy.
Wow.
Hancock County's got a lot of money.
Hancock and Wood, they've got all the money.
You have no idea how much this elevator music costs.
This is a live piano player.
Did you say this was Hancock? Is that,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You got it.
We will take requests if anybody has.
Employed by, you know.
Okay, I'm going to transfer you now.
Thank you.
Is there a mute button on
Hi, this is the Hancock County Commissioners.
Hello, Shane Thomas, Seneca County Commissioners.
Awesome, great.
We have a ditch. And we just have one, it's full of water. We'll do a roll call.
Just hold on one second. Commissioner Beckles coming down the hallway.
Okay.
He was playing the piano.
Multi-talented.
Oh my gosh. At least they have fun.
Yeah.
I like to have fun here.
We need a bigger hallway too.
Here. These too many emails in at once.
No worries, no worries. We'll go ahead with the roll call.
Commissioner Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Here.
Commissioner Stacy?
And do you have a roll call?
Commissioner Bechtel?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Gazarick?
Yes.
All right, we have a resolution we'd like to read.
Okay, I have a resolution for the maintenance assessments for collection in 2020 for the Seneca and Hancock Joint County ditches maintained by the Seneca County Ditch Maintenance Program. I have a Lowry Frankert at 5% and Keckler Coleman at 9.5%.
How's that sound to y'all?
We'll wait for you to make a motion.
Mike Kirschner, Seneca County, move for approval.
Second, Mike Gazarick.
All right, any discussion?
Not here. None.
All right, roll call.
Commissioner Stacy? Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Gazarick?
Yes.
Commissioner Bechtel?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Thank you very much. You guys are very cooperative.
Is Commissioner Stacy still a commissioner?
She is still a commissioner. She had she's got a few more days here.
Yeah.
Did she get a date when her last day is? The
19th.
19th?
Yep, the
Yes.
19th.
111 Madison Street, you can send flowers.
111 Madison Street, send flowers.
Or a pizza.
What's the matter? You don't like cold beer?
Change the address
Hey,
then.
you guys keep my wife out of trouble. She works over there.
All
Oh,
right.
wow.
All right, this is Commissioner Robertson, by the way. You all take care.
All right,
Thank you very much.
All right,
Yeah,
have a good day.
okay.
Right, right. Okay.
My goal is to figure out who his wife is. Keep her out of trouble.
Top tonight.
Amy Reinhardt, Downtown Manager with TSEP, for those who don't know me. Just very quickly, I'm going to give you an update on what our committees are working on in the downtown right now. So Main Street is our 4-point approach to downtown revitalization, and that is through our 4 committees, so operations, design, business enhancement, and marketing. So right now, our operations, that's our Downtown Development Board. They're working on coming up here in August, our annual planning. In addition to that, we will also be taking a trip to Worcester, where we'll be looking at the First Main Street community here in Ohio, getting some input and bringing that back here to assist us. Additionally, we are working our certified local government status, which was going to open up some additional funding sources for us. And finally, everybody mark your calendar. September 4th is our Main Street Celebration and Summit. So that will be taking place over at the Chandelier this year. So we're in the process of planning for our downtown awards and everything as we're moving forward. Design Committee. Last year, they spent a significant amount of time working on our streetscaping items. So that consists of our planters, our benches, our bike racks, our trash cans, and all the things that we have going on up and down Washington Street. And so in January, we were actually able to secure an OSS Solid Waste District grant for recycled materials, and we were able to purchase, in conjunction with the Shade Tree Commission over at the city, 25 box planters. And so those reach from the river down to Madison Street. So those are in place right now. Additionally, our facade enhancement program went very, very well this year. We had 14 project approvals for $275,000 worth of investment. So we have had an amazing amount of projects. This program was implemented in 2014, and at this point we've had 80 project approvals with $2.4 million of investment in our downtown. So that program continues to be a big success for us. Business enhancement, so this particular committee is focused on our downtown businesses. Right now they're going out and doing what we call our insight calls, so they're meeting with our businesses, finding out ways that we can assist them. But additionally, we have had already in July, 8 new businesses have come into downtown Tiffin this year. So very excited to have all of those. Divine Style Boutique had their ribbon cutting yesterday too. So we just continue to see an amazing amount of growth in the downtown. With that being said, the number of projects coming and going through the downtown has been really unbelievable this year. We have 40 to 50 different projects in all different stages of businesses coming in, building owners doing renovations. I mean, it is just unbelievable the amount of things that are happening within the downtown. And that being said, before I jump to the next slide, it's going to immediately pop up a video. The next slide is our marketing committee. So they are working on promotions of downtown in conjunction with our retailers, putting on a lot of great events. So I'm going to go ahead and click, and the
Hopefully
video
it'll work. We've had some
pop
technical
up.
difficulties with a
We
couple of
hope.
things. We hope. Now we can bring it at another time. Come back.
Is anybody able to hit just play? Will it just play?
All right. 1 second, maybe.
No sound. That's okay. It's just music.
Leave that piano player back.
There it goes.
There you go. Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah.
So that is just kind of a recap of things coming up. This Friday, we have a downtown cleanup. This Saturday is our summer stroll. If you don't have tickets, get online and get your tickets for that. Every third Thursday, we have a third Thursday event downtown, so people are coming into the downtown, visiting the retailers. Some have giveaways, some have specials going on, so every third Thursday. We also have our trivia nights going on third Thursdays. This particular coming third Thursday, it'll be at the Laird Arcade Brewery. That is a great event and a whole lot of fun. Ben Gillig actually puts together all the questions, and it's a good time. But with that being said, so we have a Downtown Tiffin Facebook page, and our video is up on that page. And right now, that video has been viewed 1,100 times on our Facebook page. And within the last month, we've had posts reach 8,500 people. So Downtown page is still getting up and rolling, but we are seeing a good response from things, especially like the video. So unless anybody has questions, that's all we have.
How many award nominations do we end up getting into Heritage Ohio?
We nominated 7. So we will see what happens with that. There are 23 Main Street communities in the state of Ohio putting in their award submissions. So by end of August, early September, we should know who's receiving them, but they asked we not put it out publicly until October because they'll be announced at the Heritage Ohio State Conference.
I think it's amazing that we have, 7 award-worthy nominations,
Right.
let alone all the wins that we had last year. So that's really impressive. I appreciate that, your hard work on keeping that rolling.
Absolutely. Downtown continues to grow and bloom, foot traffic increases. So many people investing. It takes a village to make it happen, but so many people are making downtown what it is, so we're very pleased.
Got another concert on the green this Saturday too, right?
We do, yes. There's so much happening. I can't even keep track of all the events. That's why we've got our video and our posts go up, and check the page, the Downtown Tiffin page, so we share everything. So, yeah.
All right, I'm going to close it out with just a couple of things. All of us are working on many, many projects. I'm very proud of the team that we have had in the past. I'm very proud of the people I get to work with now. So what I try to do is support them, continue to create an environment where they can, where talented people can make a difference in the county. And we continue to work on getting better at that, but I think certainly I feel really good about how we're continuing to develop as a team. And that's really, for me, the foundation of our success as one organization that's part of a much larger picture of partners trying to make Seneca County great. We are continuing to try to streamline and get better and better at our organizationally within the Tiffin Seneca Economic Partnership. Salesforce is our main customer relationship management. It also functions a little bit like an enterprise resource planner in that we don't really integrate financial functions, but really properties and initiatives and projects and companies and people we work with, our retention and expansion programs integrated into it. And so this right here is one example of a dashboard. We say, okay, well, how many businesses have we reached out to so far this year? We're trying to get to 600 by the end of the third quarter, and really that's the yearly goal, so if we have a little bit of cushion on the back end, but this is one dashboard that geographically breaks it out. So right now, we know that we're in about the 30 range. So we reach out to about 30 rural Seneca County companies of the 250. So we'll be able to tell and be able to report as we will be doing quarterly. We'll know where those numbers are. So we hit those metrics we committed to the county commissioners to hit. Plus it allows us to make sure. And then we also have another dashboard I didn't include that includes here's all the companies we haven't hit by geographic locations. We can say which county. So when Audrey's looking at the companies to locate, she can just pull it up and here's a list and it sorts by industry, et cetera. But that's an example. It just allows us to quickly assess where we're at, quickly assess where we need to go in all the different areas. That's an example. And our insight calls, again, going well. We're going to try to hit 600 this year. Annexation, so just meeting, so talk about the housing study. So there was a lot of discussion at a meeting we had this week that the 20 years ago, the feeling between the city of Tiffin and the townships was not as positive and collaborative as it is today. But we had a great meeting. So we had Eden, Clinton, and Hopewell Townships in a room with the city of Tiffin. We kind of convened that, and everybody was able to talk about, because all the annexation agreements are expiring at the end of September. So there was pretty much some new ideas, but pretty much everybody was pretty content. And it's the idea that if we work together, everybody accomplishes more, and everybody was pretty happy. And so it was a very productive meeting. So we're going to work on drafting some things, and I think the townships and the city will be happy, and we'll be able to create an environment where we can have some of the residential development as well as industrial commercial development in the larger central Seneca County area. The last thing I would mention is that we're going to be doing, and this is kind of relatively very recently finalized, we're going to be doing a marketing trip indeed to Japan. And I've been working on that and sharing it with people that have indicated they may be interested. So we're going to be part of a large kind of statewide contingency, including some folks from Northwest Ohio, to market our spec building, market our industrial properties. So we're gonna do some of that too. So those are just some of the highlights. Any questions for me or the team?
Well, I'll make a couple comments. I think, David, that the biggest thing, having been involved in economic development for 30 years or more than I can remember, we've talked about these things, and we've had a number of presentations over the decades about this. What I am impressed with this group, and I want to give you my thanks, is that we're actually implementing things, okay? When we talked about developing the downtown, we talked about it a long time, but we've really never had it come to life. And we've done that. We talked about going to the rural communities and having conversations with the trustees for years. We've never really got there and listened sincerely to what they needed. We talked about the housing side. I hope this comes to fruition as well. We've been talking about this for a long, long time. And I know with this group, we can take it to the next step of implementation. I know it won't be 8 sites, but if we can get 2 or 3, that would be a wonderful thing that we could actually implement. So thank you for your work, but also, moreover, thank you for actually following through and doing the implementation of what the studies suggest we need to follow through on.
For our commissioner aspirants that are here, I just so you know the context, this is the highest level of commitment that the county's ever made to economic development, and we transitioned to a contractual agreement with a matrix of benchmarks of things that we want to see accomplished. And so today is really, in my mind, the first day we've all been together, you know, because you've had,
It
you know,
is.
staff,
It is, yeah.
staffing ramp up and whatnot. So this is really a kind of a celebration of a new era of economic development and a deeper partnership with the county on economic development. And it's been one of those things that it's the proverbial sausage, right? Nobody really wanted to watch that happen, but you know, we're all here to feast now. So echo Commissioner Kirschner's sentiments on that.
We thank you.
Can we grab a picture with the four of your staff? And
Absolutely.
we have Jimmy, you got a camera?
Yeah.
Fortunately,
Wish Carol were here, but we'll fill in us four.
Holly's taking the form of a barn decoration.
Where would you like us to come on back?
Is
here.
Holly
Back
gonna have
here,
a
we
picture?
got the flag and the seal. And
Put her in the picture.
There's the Ohio Star.
in the center, in the center, in the center.
You're gonna have
Hate to do this, but can you move that chair out? Can you move that chair out?
This chair?
Yeah. Yep, just bring it to the side to the side. Thank you.
They may have pianos, but we have professionals.
Okay, everybody, let's see here. Get y'all in frame. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna take 2. One more. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you all for coming in. You're welcome to leave. Unless we've got another ditch hearing.
Here's your hat, what's your hurry?
Come back when you can stay longer.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay, back to the agenda. So, administrator's report.
Yes, I printed out a couple reports for you this morning. General fund expenses, we're sitting at about 52%, which, you know, it should be half a year, so we should be at 50% on our expenses, just a little over. Also gave you a copy of the revenue report. We're sitting at 49%. Most of the lines are doing good. The one that we gotta keep an eye on right now is the ICE sheriff's fees line. It's underperforming because of some judges' changes in Cleveland. They've been doing things a little bit differently. So last year we were at about 82 inmates a day, and now we're at 55 inmates a day. So our revenue's tracking a little low at ICE. I talked to sheriff. He wasn't quite ready to reduce it yet, but it probably will be. It's only tracking at 36%, I think the report says. So just sitting a little low, so we really got to keep an eye on that. But our full revenue report for the general fund is at 49%. So still we're in our budget stabilization fund. We still have the 500,000, and then the Medicaid, we still have the 885 in there. Still holding if we would need anything, so. I think that's the reports. A couple like calendar questions I did have with Commissioner Stacy leaving. I know there's just a couple meetings coming up.
So we have the 18th, right, scheduled?
Yes.
That's next week. That's good with everyone.
Yep.
The 24th, were we able to get that cleared?
We have right now we have the
That's the one.
24th scheduled at 10, and then we still have a board session scheduled at Thursday at 10.
With TSEP, we have, David, we have a breakfast meeting at TSEP on the 24th.
We do.
Wednesday. And then I show executive following, is that
We're
right?
immediately following, that's correct.
So that would tie me up until 10 probably.
On the 24th?
Yeah. I was hoping that we could go ahead and follow up. I just have our regular commissioners meeting on the 24th then. Because that's going to be a one item. 10 o'clock is a work session scheduled, is that right?
Well,
Work and/or a commissioner meeting.
Whatever we want to make it, yeah.
If we could do both.
It's a public
of those,
meeting.
Yeah. If we could do both of those that day, that would be great.
Okay. And then cancel the 25th, is that what you're looking
Right,
for?
yeah, it's just we're gonna be assembled anyway.
Yeah, okay.
And Shane, I think I've asked you, we have a health insurance committee meeting at 9 on the 24th.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna be able to
Yeah.
make it?
Yeah, yeah,
If you're
I-
still at TCEP, we could.
Well, yeah, I've gotten them.
Holly's usually
triple
on
booked
that.
morning, but yes, I'm gonna be at your meeting, yes.
Okay. The 16th, I think Holly has asked me to be a proxy for the land bank with Mike. There's also a Homeland Security LEPC meeting. I'm actually on the LEPC. Holly just usually goes as a representative for Homeland Security and LEPC. So if one of you would be available at noon, out to public safety
On the 16th?
on the
That's
16th.
Tuesday.
Yep. And I think she said she was going to FEDC on the 18th.
Yeah. I don't know how long land bank meeting will last.
Shouldn't be more than an
Say it
hour.
might be past noon, so I don't have to go out today.
Oh, no, I have to go, so.
All right.
I think that's all the date questions I have. I sent you a copy of the proposed museum contract update. The Museum Advisory Board met 2 weeks ago and came up with some suggestions. I think I just sent it out to you, so I'm hoping to talk about that next board session. Give you guys a chance to review it and review the changes.
I go over some of the logic with you when we.
Yeah, I just want a recommendation from
Yep.
the board. If that document represents their
And we meet the
recommendation,
17th right
then
before that
I'm
meeting.
fine with it, as long as,
We do what time?
Museum on the 17th is at 4.
Did we leave it there? I thought we,
We have one there and then we'd have one in August.
okay.
We
I
were
thought
gonna
we
meet.
had some different decision about a time, but all right.
That's what I got on.
when we can talk about this later, but the first 2 weeks of August, August 1st, I have a conflict. I'm teaching at the graduate school of banking. And so, and the 8th, I won't be back, so if there's any chance we can move the meeting to the 9th. On Friday, those are my.
When, are you gonna be on that week or?
Yeah,
Okay, the
it's
first.
the last week of July and the first week of August.
Okay.
It's graduate school banking. I'll be back on the 9th, which is a Friday, but I don't know if you have any interest in that.
Yeah, I'm okay Friday morning.
Yeah.
We could try to do it at 9.
All right, that's great.
9 o'clock Friday morning, the 9th.
So we'll cancel the 8th and reschedule for the 9th.
Yeah.
And this for the 1st.
How are you on the first? Is no good either?
Yeah, the first is, I'll be at Madison teaching.
Well, would you want to, how about like, that whole, are you leaving the
Yeah.
29th?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, can we cancel the first, it's first of the month?
Yeah. Do you want to,
We've got the,
yeah, that'll work.
we've got the 28th, right, or the 20th?
Yeah. We could squeeze we might squeeze 2 in the week of the 12th there or something.
Yeah.
Or August. Okay.
Okay. I think that's all I had.
All right, commission reports.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things. First of all, I have not had, unless there are folks here today, I have not heard any concerns regarding our landfill in a couple of months. Sunny Hills, and as you probably know, the 29th is the date of the hearing with the health department. We have pretty much agreed to go along with whatever the health department had, although we don't have any jurisdiction there. We just have tried to support them. But I'd like to at least announce so that anybody that has any concerns about the landfill, whether it be water quality or whether it be odors, to come forth, because we pretty much would like to make a decision as to how we'd like to handle our direction to the health department for that meeting, that application on the 29th from Sunny Hills to renew their license. And as I say, I have not heard any objections in at least 60 days, unless I'm missing something. One thing I would suggest with Commissioner Stacy leaving is we talked to the prosecutor, and we don't have, the 29th is when theoretically we'll appoint a new commissioner. We don't have to appoint one because we have 2 of us, but for ceremonial reasons, signing those kind of things, I'd like to suggest that we ask Kenny Eastep to step in for an interim period, 3 or 4 weeks, just to have a full board and have him come here if there's no objection to that, if you have a concern. He's agreed that he would. We have some attention being paid to us. Congressman Jordan was here, and he met specifically with Amy's help. I'm looking at Amy. With Commissioner Stacy's help, got some farmers in and talked about the current situation, their concerns about the crops, and their concerns about crop insurance, concerns about somebody stepping in to try to give them some assistance. So there was a nice little forum here for about an hour with Congressman Jordan and 4 or 5 farmers. We also had a chance to meet with them as some elected officials. I think he met with the chamber or
We set up a forum for,
yeah. So he spent, the better part of a day with us, and it's always good to get that attention. We talked to him about roads, and we talked to him about various and sundry issues, right? We also had the opportunity, I know that Bob Sprague took a tour with you guys, the county, or the state treasurer. He also had lunch with a couple of elected officials and talked about our concerns as they might relate to the treasurer's office. So it's nice to know that we're getting some attention from the federal and the state level as well, and get some one-on-one time with these guys. That was my week.
That's your TSEP minute?
Yeah.
The only thing I want to mention is that next week, we didn't actually clarify, we are having a special topic, which is kind of the utilization of the courthouse lawn and the cupola lighting, and how we keep that central to the community and the civic core. So we have a number of partners over there, and the judges and sheriff and whatnot. So we're going to have a conversation about utilization of the courthouse green, lighting the cupola, and utilization of the common spaces within the Justice Center. So get everybody together. It's been a little bit of time trying to get everybody on one day. We have currently a couple different mechanisms we use to approve things. They're left over from when there wasn't a Justice Center there. So at least worthy of being revisited, if not modified. So
That's on the 24th.
24th, that's next week?
Yes.
Okay,
24th.
24th. Yeah. All right.
It's just about made it. Good time.
Do we need to send a sign-up sheet around?
Still got a couple minutes. I don't think I have any more, but I still have a couple minutes. Does your clock say 11?
Yes.
I'm just-
Verizon says 10:57.
10:57. You want me to read our couple resolutions we have? I can do that
Sure.
quick. I have a couple supplemental requests. I have one from Juvenile Probate for their Juvenile Programs and Services Fund. She's asking for an additional $950 in her contract services line. And I have a request from the engineer's office. This is for the County Road 26, County Road 592 pavement widening resurfacing project. So he needs the supplemental appropriation for $1,105,197.60. And I have a resolution establishing the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration Grant. And I have a resolution authorizing an agreement with Resource Solutions Associates on behalf of the Seneca County Emergency Management Agency. And John is here to kind of explain how that's going to work. If you want to.
Sure. Sure, that is, we're contracting services with Resource Solutions They are going to help us update our 5-year hazard mitigation plan from it's a required plan, it's a 5-year plan. We're up this year. Our current plan will actually expire January 2020. And so they're going to facilitate rewriting that plan for us and updating it. It actually will change it from a natural hazards mitigation plan to an all hazards, which will include man-made problems, even terrorism issues. Prior to that, it was a natural hazards plan, which talked about mitigation for floods and tornadoes and earthquakes, et cetera, et cetera. It's required by the state. It's paid for by funds from FEMA, from the state, and we have a portion of payment in there, but our portion is offset by volunteer hours taken up in the meeting. So we'll actually not expend any cash value in that whatsoever, but we'll have another 5-year plan in by January. So that's what.
Thank you. And those are all the resolutions I have.
Move for approval.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Stacy, Commissioner Kirschner,
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings.
Yes.
Okay, 11:01.
11 o'clock. Send it around. So we have a bid opening for the taxiway at the airport, and this is 95% grant funded, 90% coming from the FAA, 5% coming from ODOT, general fund kicking in 5%. So it's the taxiway is something that we've been maintaining very well, and the asphalt has lasted a long time, but it's come to the point where resurfacing it is going to be better for the long term, and so hopefully we have some reasonably good bids here.
Two. Yeah.
Wow.
Alright. They were so nice to mark the pages for me. I like when they do that. So the engineer's estimate, Nikki look this up for me. Engineer's estimate for the project is $337,432. 337,432. So the first one I have is Erie Blacktop out of Sandusky. Their total bid amount is $345,797.57. 345,797.57. Second one is from Gherkin Paving out of Napoleon. And their total bid amount is $364,957.86. 364,957.86. And those are the only two I have.
All right, you'll send those to the engineer to get them approved?
Reviewed, yep.
Reviewed and approved. All right. Thank you for the bids. Anything else for the good of the cause? Old business, new business? Public comments, the only thing I have is Commissioner Stacy is working on barn quilt theme for the bicentennial of the county? Is that what we're saying?
Correct.
And it's 2024, and so we're ramping up a number of activities with the Visitors Bureau and different partners, and this is, Charlene, do you want to opine on what this is? Am I holding it upside down?
No, you can. So what Commissioner Thomas is holding is a 2x2 barn quilt. It's painted. That pattern is the Ohio Star. You spend the day painting it. You get to pick your different patterns. I spent the day with Commissioner Stacy yesterday in Cuyahoga County, and we met with their group and did this, and it's quite a bunch of fun. And actually the ladies that sat with us were from the quilters group, and they said, well, since you came up to us, we'll come down to you when you do it. So how nice is that? That kind of starts that. You can actually tell stories with them. There's a lady who had a quilt when she was a little girl. It had a donkey on it, and the one she painted, and it's up on a barn in Ohio somewhere, is this donkey quilt. So you can see that. So there's different things you can paint. Use your imagination. Anybody can do it, as long as you have a little dexterity in laying down some tape. You can do it. If I can paint it and it came out looking good, anyone can. And I'm hoping probably, I believe next year, we're working with the library to make this happen.
Well, hopefully don't use a donkey as a symbol for Seneca County.
It's just an animal to me, so there you go. I have no political affiliation.
So we are looking for people to contribute and volunteer and come up with their own ideas to contribute to a celebration of Seneca County and its history. So I think the Visitors Bureau, the museum, certainly Commissioner Stacy are all involved, and reach out to them. And so if there's anybody who has an idea and wants to dovetail into these events, we greatly appreciate it. All right, other public comments. We have a couple aspirant commissioners here. Would you like to introduce yourselves? And we are not participating in this process as a board of appointing commissioners, but we will wholeheartedly welcome whoever the Central Committee chooses. So,
thank you. My name is Jim Klein. I came to Seneca County approximately 31 years ago. I found it to be a great place to raise my family. I operated a small business for 12 years, and after that I had various jobs outside of the county, but the people have brought me, my love for this county and the people here have brought me back, and I've been back since 2006. I echo what Mr. Kirchner says. When I first got to Tiffin, the spirit of cooperation between the trustees, the county government, and the city government did not exist. Over the past, I'd say 7 or 8 years, I have seen a tremendous spirit of cooperation between all government entities. And I think that if I'm fortunate enough to be chosen to be sitting where the quilt's at, I will try to promote that cooperation. We're all better off if we all work together. Thank you.
Bill?
I'm Bill Frankert. Currently, I'm an Adams Township trustee, been a trustee for 12 years now. And I believe with my experience being a trustee, that kind of correlates, moving into the commissioner's spot. I live over around Green Springs. I have a wife and 3 children and farm. And looking forward to meeting with the Central Committee on the 29th, and hopefully I'm selected.
Just as an update, as of yesterday, we had 5 applications. It has been advertised, and I think the advertisement's out of the paper now. But they have until the 23rd, I think, to respond. And then if there are more than, the procedure is, if there are more than 10, the Central Committee would have to meet twice. The first group would be interviewed, and then it would be narrowed down, and then the second night, someone would be chosen. But it's hard to say whether we'll have 5 more or not. But that's where it's at right now.
All right. Anything else? Go to the order. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.